Hi everyone. This week I had a really tough conversation with a man who was getting ready to transition ownership of his operation to his 2 children. This man, let's call him Bob, was heartbroken because he and his wife had built such a successful business that he was in the position to gift the entire operation to his children. The papers were drawn up, but he felt that he couldn't move forward because his successors couldn't get along. Bob was full of regret because he felt that he had allowed his children into the business without setting any expectations for how they would run it. He also felt that he'd done a terrible job of setting proper boundaries regarding how they should treat each other. As a result, there was tension in the business, and he felt that his family was at the point of dividing. I see situations like this a lot. Setting clear expectations is very important in order to keep everyone on track and to avoid situations that can derail the team and may end up affecting your succession plan. So let's talk about a couple of things you can do to make sure expectations are being clearly set and are understood. First, you must be able to articulate what it is that you want. I know that this sounds silly, but if there's one thing that's true for most people, when we are moving quickly, we don't communicate well. And we think others will either instinctively know what we want or they will be able to read our minds. If you have a process that you want someone to follow, you cannot just tell them what outcome you're looking for. You must be willing to walk through each step. Next, have them repeat back to you what they heard. Most of the time, you will find that they are not able to repeat back what you thought you had said. This will give you an opportunity to clear up the misunderstanding before anything is executed. Finally, you must check in and be prepared to have a conversation if things aren't being done correctly. What gets measured gets done. If you aren't checking in, you will find that procedural drift has occurred. This can happen whether it's a task you want your team member to complete or behavior that will ultimately shape and define your organization's culture. Let's take a second to talk about that. I will use the example of we put our family first. This is a pretty common sentiment among families who run businesses together. If, however, this is expected, but there's no clarity regarding what it looks like in action, it will have no meaning. Taking the time to talk about what a value statement looks like in practice is critical. Holding people accountable when they're acting out of alignment with that value or expectation is equally important. Relationship dynamics are powerful things. Once 2 people begin to repeatedly act in a disrespectful manner to each other, it becomes more and more difficult to change that behavior back to a more healthy state. Never underestimate the power of establishing clear expectations. It may take a little extra time in the beginning, but will save you a lot of time and heartache in the long run.